Let's get right into it. Number 9. Accidentally fermented everything. Imagine being a prehistoric human, proud inventor of fire, and then discovering that fruit left alone too long turns into happiness juice. No labels. No warnings. Just vibes. Early humans didn't invent getting high, they tripped into it. Literally. Fermentation happened by accident. Fruit fell. Yeast showed up uninvited. Sugar turned into alcohol. And suddenly UG had opinions. Your brain loves alcohol because it hijacks the reward system without asking permission. It quiets fear, loosens social rules, and makes bad ideas feel like spiritual revelations. For early humans, this was a miracle. Life was hard. Everything could kill you. Fermented fruit made the anxiety quieter and the campfire conversations louder. Anthropologists think this wasn't just recreation, it was social glue. Shared intoxication meant shared trust. If everyone's a little dizzy together, no one's plotting your demise. Probably, this is why alcohol shows up everywhere independently. It's easy to make and immediately rewarding. You don't need culture. You don't need chemistry. You just need time and neglect. Basically, humanity's first high wasn't a drug, it was food that forgot its job. Number 8. Sacred smoke era. Somewhere along the line, humans realized that burning certain plants made reality flexible. Enter smoke. Incense. Herbs. Leaves that absolutely should not be inhaled, but here we are. Ancient civilizations didn't call this getting high. They called it communing with gods, ancestors, or whatever invisible management team ran the universe. Smoke rises, prayers rise, logic exits the building, your brain responds to inhaled psychoactives fast. Straight to the bloodstream. Straight to the mind. Which made it perfect for rituals. Shamans, priests, and healers figured out that altered states felt important. And your brain agrees. Novel sensations trigger meaning-making circuits. So hallucinations became visions. Euphoria became enlightenment. Confusion became prophecy. Was it spiritual? Sometimes. Was it also chemistry? Absolutely. The genius part is framing. When a culture labels intoxication as sacred, your brain experiences it differently. Expectation shapes perception. You don't feel high. You feel chosen. Basically, humans discovered drugs and immediately gave them job titles. Number 7. Mushrooms and messages. At some point, a human looked at a weird fungus growing out of the ground and thought, yes. That one. Directly into my body. And shockingly, it worked. Psychedelic mushrooms show up across continents and time periods, which tells you something important. Humans are curious to a fault. These weren't party drugs. They were meaning drugs. People didn't take them to chill. They took them to understand why the sky existed and whether animals had opinions. Psilocybin messes with the brain's default mode network, the part responsible for your sense of self. When it quiets down, the boundaries between you and everything else get fuzzy. Ancient humans didn't say ego dissolution. They said, I talk to the forest. Culturally, this became sacred knowledge. Only certain people, in certain places, at certain times. The exclusivity mattered. Scarcity plus intensity equals belief, and here's the weird part. Modern neuroscience keeps circling back to these experiences and saying, yeah, something's happening there. Basically, humanity didn't invent philosophy sober. Number 6. Wine, poetry, and bad decision. Civilization arrived and immediately poured itself a drink. Once agriculture stabilized food, alcohol stopped being an accident and became an industry. Wine, beer, mead, suddenly intoxication had branding. The Greeks didn't hide it. They built entire festivals around getting absolutely unhinged in honor of Dionysus. Drinking wasn't a flaw, it was cultural participation. Poetry, politics, philosophy, all of it happened slightly buzzed. Your brain on alcohol feels cleverer than it is. Confidence rises. Inhibition drops. This is why great ideas and terrible ideas share the same birthplace. The wine cup, Romans refined it further. Diluted wine. Social rules. Drinking as status. You weren't just drunk, you were appropriately drunk. The psychology here is fascinating. Alcohol became permission. To speak freely. To connect. To rebel just enough. Basically, civilization didn't tame intoxication, it scheduled it. Number 5. Medieval medicine madness. Imagine having a headache in the Middle Ages and being prescribed something that would absolutely end you today: opium. Belladonna. Mandrake. Alcohol mixed with herbs and hope. Doctors weren't evil, they were guessing. Pain relief felt miraculous, and side effects were just character building. Your brain doesn't care why a chemical works. Relief is relief. So people trusted potions that blurred pain, reality, and occasionally the line between alive and not. This era treated getting high as medicine, which made it socially acceptable. If you felt weird, that meant it was working. Basically, medieval humans weren't reckless, they were desperate. Number 4. Coffee changes everything. One day, humanity discovered a drug that didn't make you see God, but made you tolerate your coworkers. And honestly? Bigger impact. Coffee didn't arrive quietly. It kicked down the door of history holding a mug. When caffeine spread through the Middle East and Europe, it rewired society. Alcohol made you loose. Coffee made you sharp. And suddenly people were staying awake long enough to have opinions. Your brain on caffeine is just dopamine with a clipboard. Focus tightens. Reaction time improves. Fatigue gets shouted down. Unlike older highs, this one didn't dissolve the ego, it put it in charge. Coffeehouses became idea factories. Politics. Science. Revolutions. You weren't drunk at noon anymore, you were alert and argumentative. Governments noticed. Some tried to ban coffee because people were thinking too much. Psychologically, caffeine flipped intoxication's role. Instead of escaping reality, you optimized it. The high became productivity flavored. Basically, coffee didn't get you high to leave the world. It got you high to run it. Number 3. Victorian chemical confidence. The 1800s were a wild time to have a nervous system. Cocaine was legal. Opium was normal. Laudanum was sold like cough syrup. Doctors prescribed drugs with the confidence of someone who absolutely did not understand addiction yet. Sigmund Freud famously loved cocaine. Thought it was great. Mood lifting. Energizing. Minor detail. Extremely addictive. Your brain loves stimulants because they fake competence. You feel powerful, clear, unstoppable, until reality sends the bill. Victorians didn't see drugs as rebellion. They saw them as progress. Chemistry felt modern. Controlled. Scientific. Which made the highs feel respectable. This is what happens when optimism outruns understanding. Basically, humans learned the hard way that just because something feels amazing doesn't mean it's your friend. Number 2. Counterculture chaos. Fast forward to the 1960s, when getting high became a personality statement. Psychedelics came back, but this time with tie-dye, protest signs, and very loud opinions about the government. LSD didn't just alter perception, it altered trust in authority. When your brain experiences reality as flexible, rigid systems start looking suspicious. Neurologically, psychedelics reduce top-down control. Your brain stops enforcing rules and starts exploring patterns. For a generation already questioning everything, this was gasoline on the fire. Drugs became identity. Music changed. Art exploded. Society panicked. This wasn't just about feeling good, it was about feeling free. And freedom scares systems built on predictability. Basically, getting high turned into a form of rebellion with a soundtrack. Number 1. Modern microdosing life. Today's highs are quieter. Cleaner. Optimized. Microdosing psychedelics for creativity. Prescription stimulants for focus. Weed strains tailored to your personality. Getting high now comes with spreadsheets. Your brain is still chasing the same thing it always has: relief, meaning, enhancement. But now it wants efficiency. The psychology hasn't changed, just the packaging. Altered states are still about control. Over pain. Over mood. Over attention. We've gone from accidental fermentation to intentional optimization. Basically, humans didn't stop getting high. We just started pretending it's self-care. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.